It's go time. Friday Night Follies. Let's go. Gorilla George.
I was looking for a way to spread my wings. I was looking to lift my soul. I was looking for a way to escape material things. I was looking to lose control. And music, it was there for me. You know,
That's right.
they were there for me.
And this is what they said.
You gotta move fast, but the moment lasts. Always keep it humble, even when the feeling pass. When you hit the thunder rumble and you put this on the gas, take a second, get the people look up in the sky and ask. For a lesson, God, this life is such a blessing. If you guess and look around and know you are blessed too. We come together to see light in any weather.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
I was looking for a way to conquer dreams. I was looking for one a day. I was looking for a way to sew up those open seams. I was looking to run away. Only they were there for me. You know my friends, they were out there for me. And this is what they said. But you gotta move fast, make the moment last. Always keep it humble, even when the feeling fast. When you hit the thunder rumble and you put this on the gas.
Cheapo.
People look up in the sky and ask. For a lesson, yeah, this life is such a blessing. If you got to look around and know you are blessed.
We're on 8. We need 10. A 10. Give me a 10. Right? Whoa! Hi.
I was looking for a way to release my pain.
We did cool guy things today. You guys probably won't even figure it out, but we did cool guy things today. Machismo crew. Howdy doody. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to get myself a little situated here. Who could be the first one to tell something a little different today? And was there a reason why I did it? Not at all. Just kind of happened that way. If you were really interested in that band, I was listening to The Movement, great album. That song was called Rescue Me, and if you want, just go to YouTube and type in Rescue Me. And some of these guys I talk to and stuff, and not so much follow me, but they have they know about this. I'm going to be going on 4 years come April. And I tell them, I go, man, I helped sell your records. You know how many people turned me on and said, who were you playing? I totally dug them or whatever. And yeah, man. But here's another thing I'd love just to share. Anyone figured it out yet? You'd be surprised how many people you've been good to talk about you like, you ain't nothing. Nothing. Seems like that's been kind of like the theme for a lot lately, right? I don't know. So, we're just before Christmas. All the good times and, man, don't do that to me. But, hey, this is the elevators. Cheers to y'all. Just before Christmas, Christmas Eve, so I thought I'd have a beer. Another thing that kind of gets me a little on the side is how I can't go horizontal anymore. I have to stay on the vertical side, which it works. It's ideally not the best thing for me, but it works. But I actually really like to go horizontal. This way, I mean, look at this way. I'm sitting here and you can see my crotch. So that means I'm going to have to go to the... Actually, you know what? I should put it on right now. You know what? You guys are going to be making history, but I could keep it. I'm going to be putting this back on because it just doesn't feel right with you guys staring at my crotch. Sorry, man. I'm just, Catholic. Yeah, ma, old school. Look at that. Now we're putting that other piece on here. No more crotch shots, right? We'll keep it good for the kids here. You know, especially with all these new rules and new laws and whatever. It's amazing how people do crazy stuff. All right. So, there you go. Let me see here. Still got my crotch shot, right? I don't got a hat on. It's because I don't have one to match the jersey. And, you know, I'm one of those guys. Well, this works. I'm one of those dudes that just like to coordinate. But cheers to you this Friday. Wow, Facebook just going a little on the crazy side. So many different things that we can go into. You know, the first one that I really want to go into, and you got to remember, anytime there's new rules, when new rules come into place or things, whatever, like the logical one or the one that it doesn't affect are the ones that are going to be chilled and they're not going to trip out and get all, whoa! They're kind of just chilled about it, you know? So here's the first one I want to read. And this was actually off Facebook, okay? You guys tell me. So this one right here says, and you know, I like this idea a lot. It says 2024 team bumps. Only applies to E to D. All players bump from men's or women's E teams to D for 2024 will be bumped to D Elite in an attempt to keep those players from remaining in the E program as a D bump. This is being done with the unanimous approval of the UCSA Classification Committee. It is our goal to try to keep the E classification as a true E classification. So what do you guys think about? I mean, you know, I know some people, and you may be on right now, but I know some people that, you know, they got their share of rings and stuff, but they're all in the E division. And, you know, for me, I that's kind of the right direction. But if these same people are doing this for men's, they got to do it for the 40, you know, for the senior program. I think you can do that the same way. You know, if you're bumped AAA to major, you should have an asterisk. I think if you win Worlds or something, you should have a 2 or 3 year asterisk. Maybe if you win an E World, maybe you should never be allowed to win an AA World. I mean, what about the Cup Championship? There's people who won last year looking to go play the Cup Championship again this year. You see, to me, you don't make it. To me, it's not good for softball. You got to keep people up. You got to bump them accordingly. Not necessarily always bump teams. I feel it's about bumping individual players. Simple thing, man. Simple thing. And maybe it's so simple that they don't think it's going to work. Or maybe it's so simple, but it is a little bit of work. But if you're just to keep track of MVPs and all tourneys, every tournament to get a feel of these players. I mean, like, you see it more in the senior softball level, okay? You have somebody, oh, we're a new team, blah, blah, whatever. We're going to play 40s, right? And you're playing 40, and they got no major plus chips. But realistically, they may have 2, 3, or 4 major plus chips for the fact that, you know, they didn't put them as a major plus chip. Yeah, they played they played a conference last year or 2 years ago, but you don't have them on the major plus list. That's where the softball part doesn't kind of, you know, it's not working good. So, that's what I truly believe. It says, Janie, get rid of chips across the board. Well, you know, the thing about that, Janie, or what you do is you get rid of chips and you only have one division where you're able to play for, something. And then you have a true rec division where people are just kind of out there playing just to play and not necessarily looking to win a ring or whatever. I mean, that's going to be like, you still see my crotch. I'm going to go down a level here. Yeah, I guess that's better. You can still kind of see. I don't want to show my crotch. I just don't. But, you know, the hard thing with that, in my opinion, is, you know, you're going to have some teams that are going to be a little supercharged compared to other ones, you know. So, I think that's part of the reason why you can't do chips. Well, here's something else, and I mean, some of you may think this. You know, I'm myself over 50, playing Major Plus, and I want to play Major, but I don't feel I should count as a Major Plus chip. But here's the thing that I thought about, that to make it equitable, to make it fair, because ideally the old rule was, if you're a 50 Major Plus, you can go down a level. So if I was 50 Major Plus, I go play 40s, I'm considered a 40 Major. Well, that's kind of changing. So to me, what you do is, directors, I hope you're hearing this out. Excuse me. To me, what you should do is allow 5 or 6. Probably 5 is a good number, because you know how you're allowed 3 Major Plus chips in senior softball? Maybe you should be allowed 5 Major Plus chips if they're 50, or maybe besides allowing your 3 Major Plus chips as a 40 player, maybe allow 3 more Major Plus chips. But for the most part, allow only 5 maybe Major Plus chips to play on a 40. I don't know, but I find it kind of crazy when you have 40-year-olds complaining about 50-year-olds playing in their tournaments, I mean, it's 40 and over, right? So last that I heard, if you're 51, you're over 40. So you should be okay in regards to playing 40s, right? Because it's 40 and over. So, yeah. And that's another thing. You're playing it straight across the board. What's up, Hawk? Good to see you. I'm gonna have to wear that one Chicken Hawk shirt. It's been a while. But look, no gorra. And there's no gorra. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Gerardo Gallo, I don't know gear. So, lots of different things to go and chat about. I guess the next one I could go with is, and I've had this discussion many times, maybe JBI and JBI land, or maybe if you're a pitcher out there and you want to come on, feel free to come on. I think this is a very chat, and I have had this discussion with many umpires, man. And you want to protect the pitchers and stuff. That's why in senior softball, they allow a 10-foot arc or a 15-foot arc. So what I'm going to show you right here first is 10 feet. Okay. All right, wait. So check these out. I think this is a great thing. This is a great tool just to get an idea. See that? And it says, pit players, I have made 7 of these 12-foot height poles to place on pitcher's mound, and I bet some of you will still complain that the pitch is high. I never understand the crying. Neither do I. So there it is. So you can see how high that is right there. Okay? And to me, this is something that has got to be figured out. What's up, Dan Romero? You're a pitcher. This is something, as a pitcher, if you're able to throw the ball at that height, you're going to find yourself a pretty successful pitcher. But you can see right there, this is 12 feet. Okay. And then I got another one over here. I believe it's also a 12-footer. Do I have it? Yeah, right here. So this is another 12-footer. So this is a guy, and my buddy Tyler Esplin made this for his buddy who plays senior softball, and that's a 12-footer. Right there. He made that 12 feet. So this guy isn't quite 6. So I'd say 6 feet's about right here. So there's a double. But look how high that pitch is in regards to this guy. Okay. See that? Pretty high, right? So now what I'm going to show you, and I'm actually going to show you the video on this. I actually screenshot it. And you could see, here is the batter. And look at the ball. You can see him here. And there's the ball. And anytime you see the ball, I mean, this guy, this hitter here is kind of crouched over, but he's not even 6 feet. I would say about right here where his bat is sitting is 6 feet. So I think he's about 5'5". So I would say somewhere on here 6 feet. And does that look like 6 feet? Another 6 feet from where he's at? And the funny thing about this one, like some guys, once they see the ball go over like 7 or 8 feet, and you may relate, like guys, like once they see the ball so high, they're like, they turn their head like, oh, not even, man. That's too high and stuff. And that's crazy. You got to stay in it. Plus, just because you don't think it's 10 feet or 12 feet doesn't mean the umpire. But I know some umpires are just starting to, it's funny. There's times I play with JBI and they're like, oh, JBI, we ain't going to do this. And they're talking to JBI or whatever. And I'm just like, that's funny, man. That's just absolutely crazy. I don't get why people are so, I mean, part of safety in senior softball is why they allow that high pitch. It's just straight up mat ball. There was even a discussion on Facebook. Yeah, there was a discussion on Facebook that like, oh, if it hits 10 feet, that the ball still has to go through the, below the shoulder zone, like in USSSA. Well, no, that's not true because it's mat ball. And USSSA, you got to hit the ball behind home plate. So if you're going that 10 feet, then yes, it does have to go under because you got to go into that hitting zone. But with senior softball, it is just mat ball. So that means you just throw that sucker up and you let it land where? On the plate. And being that it's a mat ball, it's to a bigger advantage to pitchers and stuff. As I was sharing on that post, like you can literally throw the ball on the side and, a ball that hits behind the plate, that hits behind home plate, technically should not be a strike because it's not crossing the plate. But with the mat ball, you can literally throw it around the batter and hit that back corner barely and get yourself a strike call. So that's the difference there. But, senior softball with the bats and the balls, it's tailored for the pitchers. It's tailored to help those pitchers. And actually, it's not a bad deal right now, which I'm going to show you some of those videos there. Oh, it's right here. All right. So this is the actual batter right here. And when I'm doing this one and stuff, it's just because it was just something that I just saw. It's not like I'm trying to do anything with anybody. So you can see right when the ball is thrown, how he backs away thinking it's too high. And he got the call. Watch. See it? See how he is? You see that? And literally tells the umpire that. And sometimes the umpire gives you that call. So that's the right thing to do. So check it out again. And that was a legal pitch. See that? And give the pitch to 11.5 feet. And if you notice that, see, that's something for me that I really want to share, is that as a pitcher, if you're trying to control the velocity from the bat off the ball, the ball off the bat, throwing that high arc is the key. That is such a much harder pitch to square up, dig in. If you're thinking you got to throw 6 feet or whatever, or you're a U-chip pitcher and you're bringing down all your old U-chip moves, they don't work because you can't pump fake. And people in senior softball are not going to chase flat pitches like you kind of would do in USSSA. And the interesting thing about USSSA, if you're really paying close attention to USSSA as of late, they're not letting that flat pitch go now. You literally got to give it that 3-foot hump. Because I think a lot of times pitchers and umpires they're letting you throw that ball without an arc, but being you're thrown at the waist and the ball's kind of barely slanted and it dropping off the table, they're trying to say it's a strike because the ball's released at 3 feet. But no, it's got to be a 3-foot arc from the release. But check this out. This is probably about a 10-foot pitch, and he hits the ball well, but not as hard as you would think. And the pitcher's able to glove that line drive. There it is. We'll do it again. So check it out. High arc. Can't square it up as hard. Dig in. Pitcher gloves it. So I mean, like literally, when you're seeing that kind of stuff, it makes a true difference. You know what I mean? Especially for pitchers. I mean, controlling the game and stuff, you got to learn how to throw that high pitch. Heck, throwing inside corners and working this with your four-seamers. Right now, pitchers 2024, if you're new going into senior softball or you've been pitching senior softball and you can't get on those teams, I'm telling you right now, you got to focus on throwing, in senior softball, throwing the 12-foot arc, and then in senior softball, throwing the 12-foot arc or the 10-foot arc in USSSA. Let's see if we can see some more with this pitcher. Actually, this pitcher was, doing a pretty good job with those arcs. And getting people out, as you can see here, was throwing those arcs. So check this one out right here. You got a strike call here. And I think rightfully so. Look at this arc. Is that too high or not? Look. See that? I'll put it closer. You think that's too high? He got the strike call. So let's see. I mean, and these balls, I mean, this is 50 major, but look how high the ball is. He swings it, and he can't even square up the ball. But he hit it over the fence. But do you see what's going on here? It's a lot harder to square that pitch up when you're throwing it up there. Let's see right here. Salvo, who actually hits the ball pretty hard. I believe he gets that high pitch. Yep. Look, short, high pitch. Check it out. Pitchers, do your homework. Look at that. High pitch. Oh! So, you know, I mean, you guys, once again, if you're looking to pitch and stuff, I stand corrected. Do I not? You got to learn to throw that high pitch arc. People are going to go crazy. People are going to go ballistic. It amazes me almost to a sense that people like kind of, not necessarily fully, but it's like they give in to,
swimming.
like people, like, you know, when people break rules or whatever, it's like you're supposed to give in rather than speak your piece on it. And I can never quite understand that, you know? So now we're going to go to another topic. You know, so this next one, like if you haven't subscribed to my good buddy Dave Velasquez out in Texas, senior softball bat reviews, lot of good topics. You know, when I'm able, I like to catch up on, check out what he's been talking about, what he's been catching on, and kind of piggyback on it because there's a lot of good topics that, you know, I've been thinking about. Like, more important to another topic. What's up, David? Yeah. The Gorillas. Look at that, dude. 2024. Got me all pimping. Why? Because we're having the Ultra. Just one, they said. All right. So, this next topic is things that you got to pay attention. It's amazing how in softball, people are very trusting. And, you know, the old rule of thumb, and Dave Velasquez says, is if it seems to be too good to be true, it's probably not true. And these little suckers, they're getting smarter, a lot smarter. So JBI says, I talk poop to the dugout while pitching. Ain't that right, Keith McWilliams? Ah, you do, JBI. That's always been a common thing for you. But check this one out. And this is also senior softball bat reviews.
So I want to.
There it is, Facebook Live.
Kind of rambling around here. My senior softball buy, sell, and trade. Patty Albright is actually in charge of that. She's watching for scammers. She kind of knows around. She knows who's out there and who is scamming. There's a few red flags you guys need to look at before you actually trade with somebody. Stalk them. Look at their profile page. See if they're actually softball players.
So are you guys getting that? Like a lot of times people, you know, you look for your good to goes or something, or you think like, and he actually shares something on here, but I mean, it's like when you're on Facebook and you got so many people and there's such a big audience and somebody's trying to sell a certain bat. And so many times people jump on like, oh, I'm going to sell this red knob. I'm just trying to get a little bit of money back. Can I get $250? And there's always going to be a sucker. And they're going to be like, oh, and they start messaging them. Hey, man, I got it. And they end up getting ripped off $250 bucks or something. So check this one out. So, and like I said, people, you guys got to really pay close attention. You know, you got to ask. And it's kind of what he's saying here. So look, it goes, please hope it's okay. You got to be all modest and nice. Please hope it's okay to post this here. Great condition Dudley Lighting 26-ounce softball bat. Less than 200 swings on it, asking 165. No way, Jose. If somebody's wanting $165 for a bat in that condition, especially a Dudley 26, nuts. That bat's about $300 easy out the door. But they catfish you guys to jump on it and send them money without really putting your thought together on it. Well, check this out, kiddos. This is why you got to pay attention. That's what the little suckers are doing now. Scammer, picture stolen from eBay. Look at that. Same bat, same picture. There's the bat. There's the end knobs and stuff. So what this guy did was just, he screenshotted those pictures off eBay. See? Right there. Screenshotted them off eBay. And then, once again, I'll show you. Get a look at that picture. Screenshotted them off eBay. And then what did he do? Check it out. There it is. Same picture, same bat. Look at even the zapatos, eh? Look at the zapatos, eh? So that's, that's one scammer they're doing. What they're doing is they are actually the pictures. They're taking pictures off other people's posts and stuff, and they're scamming you little suckers. Just like you guys are getting those special messages or people asking to be your friend. You're 55 or 57 and you got some 27-year-old honey sending you a message saying, hey, be my friend. And you're like, yeah, I still got it. All they're trying to do is get your infos, you dipshit. I mean, things to look about. Like when you see these websites, they'll have 6 or 7 mutual friends and like 10 total. So it's a new site. And then look at the pictures. Sometimes even the pictures don't match. But people don't do that. I mean, that's something like a lot of times that I get friend requests, I don't look them over all the time. So I'm sorry. But I get a lot of crazy requests from people that aren't even the right piece. And so Keith, talking to JBI, you wearing anyway. You're 0 for 10 against me. You will never beat me, ever. Boy. Well, yeah, you did hit some home runs against JBI out there at the Texas Worlds, but it's all fun, right? So those are things people are doing when they're selling bats. Either it's too good not to, well, let's hear it out right here.
I did one today that actually is selling. If you guys have seen this, you to let me know. He's selling an OG. One of these right here. See it? That's an OG, guys. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's freaking... Okay, this guy, he'll say his name here. He actually watches this. He asked me if I wanted one. It's too heavy for him. He gave me 5 different bats to trade. He goes, do you have any of these? I said,
all right, so check it out. OGs. But, I mean, that's what people do. They put on there and they're trying to sell bats. And speaking of OGs, here's the 3 OGs. Anybody interested in buying one of these OGs? Get in touch with me. They're right here. Look, listen. Hear that? Look. Look. Can you hear that? Listen. Hear that? Hear the sticky tat. Okay, but I got 3 of them right here in a wrapper. I'm looking to get rid of one of them. So if you're interested in those, I'm actually getting rid of that while we're on it. Look, got this guy right here. Got those guys. I actually like showing them, see? Woohoo! Yep. All right. So the next one I'm going to go on, which is I feel it's a good one, and I was basically going to go back onto it, and it seems like a topic that's just never ending, right? Never ending, and rightfully so. But the thing that for me at least, it's kind of good that actually people are starting to get educated. The not so typical regular person that's been playing softball, because you have your people that are in the circle and they understand what's going on, and then you got a lot of people that don't get. Look, I'm going to play some Trunks and the Maytals, but you got people that are kind of in the norm and kind of understand, and then you got people that are kind of new to softball. that don't know all the little ins and outs or the little secrets behind softball. And that's kind of what I'm kind of liking here. So what I'm going to do, hey, Keith, you're on. JBI is on. Good one right here for you all. So you're going to check this one out here.
Facebook.
Whoa.
Santa? Hey, Michelle. Do you want to use the front door this year?
Happy Friday! Thanks. No hat.
New Cheetos pretzels. Easy twist on a classic snack.
That's when you're big time on YouTube because you got all these little ads. All right, here you go.
Guy wants $202 for it. He said he paid too much for it, but he wants $202 for it. Guys, if it looks like it's too good to be true, it probably is. So what I did was I clicked on his profile page, and it wasn't even on my buy, sell, and trade. It was on someone else's. And I looked at, and all he had for sale was bats on his profile page. That more than likely is a scammer.
Yeah, scammer.
He's going to try to get money out of you. I had a guy a week and a half ago, and I might have said this in the last podcast.
So here's a good thing to do, okay? Anytime, like I've actually talked to people about buying bats and stuff, something what you should do is besides, I mean, don't get all, ooh! What you got to do is figure out, like, talk to the guy. Yeah, find out his history, find out his profile, see if he's got some legit stuff like a birthday, where's he working at, did he go to school, where did he go to high school, how many people he actually has on his friends, okay? Those are good things to look for. But what you should also be doing is like kind of getting these people to send you pictures. Tell them you want, like, if they have 4 pictures, like for me, anytime I'm buying a bat, I always say, take some video of the end knob. See the end knob so you know it's done. And then see this part. See the handle. Like right here, I'm going to say, oh, it only has 200 swings. Well, you could tell it doesn't because look how much of that paint is coming off on the end knob right here. So from right there alone, it's got a good amount of swings, correct? But that's the things you should be telling the guy. Like, send me pictures. Send me a video. Send me circle video. I mean, the way technology and phones are, you should be able to get stuff up to date and etc. Tell them you want to see certain areas, etc. Do something like this with the barrel. That's the best way to protect yourself, knowing that this guy isn't going to try to sell you a bat that is non-existent. Okay. So next on the list. Seems like one that just never stops. Okay. So here we go.
The one thing you guys got to look at too, and you guys got to understand this, because I think this next year, from what I hear, is there's going to be a lot of sanctioned tournaments or tournaments out there. Tournament directors are going to be looking for shade bats more this next year. I think there has been a lot of people that are questioning, what is going to be done. And if the bat manufacturers aren't stepping up and doing something because basically they're making a shit ton of money off of you, I don't think they give a shit. That's just me. So who's next in line is the tournament directors, the SSUSA, SPA, ISSA. I probably missed a few out there. USSSA for seniors.
So, here's something that's been thrown around, okay? And it seems like the solution's so easy, okay? They're talking about compression testing in senior softball. First off, that's not good. What you should do right now, what I'm going to talk right now, timestamp it, find where the timestamp is, whatever, and send this to tournament directors and send it to senior softball. Compression testing is not good for the game, especially senior softball. I'm going to tell you first off. First off, if you start compression testing in senior softball, the bat manufacturers are going to get loaded because once your bat doesn't pass, you got to get yourself a new senior softball bat. Compression testing doesn't work, okay? Senior softball has been going on for quite a while now that it hasn't been affected. Where people are getting hurt are more in AAA and in major than major plus, okay? Is there a lot more, I think, like shade bats and stuff at the lower levels? Yes. Is there a lot, like last weekend, I'm watching out there at Twin Creeks and I'm watching AAA and I'm seeing like guys hitting line drives at other infielders that they're like getting out of the way or they're getting smashed. So directors, it's not about compression testing. To make the game safe, you got to put more asterisks on guys that they can't play AAA level or whatever, because what's happening is you're getting guys who hit the ball way too damn hard playing AAA. And what's happening is you have these AAA coaches saying, I'm going to seek out these certain guys and stuff. AAA, they don't have the reflexes. They shouldn't have the hand-eye coordination, the soft hands, the skills. So when these guys that don't belong in AAA are hitting these lasers, that's where it's bad. Compression testing is bad, okay? Changing the balls is bad. What you got to do is just figure out. Like when it comes to shaved bats and stuff, to rid them out, compression testing is not going to do it, because what people can do is they can shave the bat, but do no swings on it. And then they take it to the compression testing, and it's going to pass, because once it gets squeezed, it's going to show like, you know, the fibers and stuff are not as limber. And that's part of how to my understanding, how compression testing, when they put the little squeeze, your fibers in the bat bend. Well, if you got a brand new shaved bat, it's not going to give. But once you put an X amount of swings in a shaved bat, say in a tournament, like say you took a brand new shaved bat to a tournament, and then you get it tested, it passes, they put the sticker, you put it in the bucket, whatever they're going to do. And then what happens, you just start swinging it. Well, obviously everyone's swinging it's a shaved bat, because once I start putting those swings in on it, it's going to break in a lot quicker. So that's why compression testing doesn't work. What you got to do is figure out, you know, as I was telling, I think this is the best way to do it, you know, is, you know, people, you put the work in on your senior bats, they're going to get hotter than heck, and they're going to be good. That's what you got to do, you know. When people are altering their sticks and stuff, they're trying to cheat the process of getting their bat to be where it's at. But the thing is, when you're altering, shaving your bat, you get crazier things. You know, the ball's going to knuckle more. It's going to do weirder things, opposed to being a bat broken in naturally. But like I said, compression testing isn't good for the game. What you just got to do is, you know, tournament directors, like I said, timestamp it and send it there. Tournament directors, get yourself a shaved bat and open the sucker up and figure out how did they get into it. I mean, I shared this the other time, and I'm going to share it again. You know, easiest thing to look at, but they don't do anymore, old school, is see if they're coming in from the cap. You know, if the cap isn't flush or looking good like this, it's altered. The next thing is right there. Okay, directors, anybody. Here it is, Kyle. This is all you got to do. This piece right here, you pop it out, take it off. This one, see, you can tell mine's not shaved, but you take it out like that. You see how that's solid? See how that's solid right there? If this bat was shaved, there would be a little hole right here. And what they do is, oh, and you know what? I didn't even say it. Next time I'm going to save it. I got some messages, actually people telling me that they actually had a bat shaved by these shave doctors that you send them to. And they're pretty open. They say they put a hole right in here. It's a little hole. And then they put the air, you know what they do? They shoot 1,000 pounds of air through a little tube that goes right in here. They just slide it in there, and it shoots all that air, and it goes out. Wait, yep. Do you? I don't even know if there's a rod in these at all. What's up? Yeah. Hey, thanks, Bill. I try. But right there, they put a hole right in here. They stick it looks like a little needle, like a little syringe that goes in, and they shoot 1,000 pounds of air, which blows that out, and they pop it back in. But I think when these are popped out and they're put back in, they kind of make a funny noise. And something that I'm going to be doing, look at this. You can already tell this bat's not shaved, which kind of sucks in a sense, see? But this is the bat a couple Fridays ago that I talked about, and I even have it. It was December 1st. And here we're on the 21st, I think, but right there. This is where I'm going to cut this bat in pieces. I took a couple swings on it just to make sure it's this bat's broken in well. This was a bat that I was using in games. What I'm hoping to do is hit some UFOs on a baseball field in Hollister with it. And then once I'm done doing that, we're going to cut it, and I'm going to show you that my bats aren't shaved. But I actually just proved that my bat isn't shaved by doing what I just did right there, showing you that there's no hole underneath. Another thing what I'm looking to do is to get the bat from the person that told me that they had that bat shaved from these companies. And I want to show you live on here what's being done. Because to me, that's the simplest thing. You know, traditionally, when I, like right here, I'll show you. Traditionally, when I tape my bats, I tape my bats like this. Okay, it's just a tradition I've had for years, even before senior bats, even before shaved bats were happening. I always did this with even my aluminum bat, taping it like that. But I think making a rule is that you're not allowed to put tape over the hand knob here because it's just so easy to see that hole right there to see if that bat is shaved or not. So let's go ahead and check out some more of Dave Velasquez and what he has to say.
Basically, what I'm talking about is senior ball here, because one thing that a lot of you guys don't understand is senior is totally different than USSSA and ASA. It's totally different. I had a guy talk to me about it because I did the TPS Robo 17, and I did not give it a good review. And then somebody popped in and said, well, it's hard for, I don't understand why TPS, it's hard for me to believe you because they got the Genesis out, and then for them to make a bat that's worse than a Genesis. Well, who says it's worse than a Genesis? I didn't say it was worse than the Genesis, and this is a U-Trip guy probably coming up and saying how they go downhill. Well, they probably didn't. They just didn't go as good as those senior bats that are out there. Another thing, too, the barrel's too hard for that bat. This is what a lot of people don't get, or a lot of people don't understand, is when you convert, I'm not saying 45s, but when you start getting 50, the bat speed diminishes. Well, a lot of you guys don't understand that shit because you're not there yet. So when your bat speed diminishes, you got to...
We lose bat speed, right. But see, another thing that Dave, I think he's talking about is like he swings certain bats and stuff, and you know how good they are and stuff. When you see people saying these bats are really good or crazy, it's like when I was swinging the Worth Wicked Booger, and that was like a diamond in the rough. It was a hidden bat. It was sold for so cheap. But when you swing it enough, and I was swinging it, it got really good shape. So Christopher Mann says, cap doesn't mean anything. If you know the manufacturer well enough, they could shave your bat before placing cap on it and send it to you. Not only that, I had the Black Deli brand new, and well, I agree with you, Chris. Is it impossible for bat manufacturers to get bats sent to them without the caps? Yeah, you're absolutely correct. That is one thing. But I mean, to me, I look at it. The first keys of anything is looking at the cap, man. Whenever a person is putting the cap in themselves, we don't have that machine and stuff to do it like they do. So it doesn't quite come as crisp. I've seen many... Most of the time when I've seen a cap on a bat, irregular, not looking right, it was a shaved bat. 3 times we looked into the bat like that. One I found like in the garbage can cracked, cut it open, it was shaved, okay? Am I saying that's a guarantee? I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying, at least with my forensic investigations, when I see these things, this is what I look. To me, I hate shaved bats. I want to get them out of there. It's going to be interesting what happens this upcoming year with the shaved bat dilemma, because it's going to change who's on certain teams and who's playing and who's doing what. And that's what I like. And some of you guys probably lost your job or not playing on these certain teams because you're battling against somebody who's swinging a shaved bat. Okay. So I got one more part of this video. And once again, this is Dave Velasquez Senior Softball Bat Review. So here's 35-30. All right. We're sponsored by Target, right? Oh, I can skip. All right, here we go.
This is coming up. They want to get ready for next year, and they want to know what the best thing. And I don't want my channel to be the only channel out there. I want to get opinion from everybody, and it's just our opinion. A lot of you guys out there get butthurt because I rip on your bat or I say something about your bat. This is given to me today. I got this today. This is from Short Porch. That right there. This is badass. This is my old design from years ago, but I like the back part. It says, you can't handle...
Yeah! Who can't handle the truth?
They got that from my guys, and I know that's backwards, but if you go to on YouTube and you subscribe to that channel over there, you other 50% guys, and subscribe to that channel, you actually get it where it's you turned around.
Hopefully Dave can see me. It's Dave, hopefully you're seeing this and you can hook me up. So the last part of this, and I was already going to be talking about shaved bats this week, and, watching that Dave last Friday, I mean, he said he's going to be talking about it quite religiously, and I think this year is going to be an interesting year for shaved bats, especially after seeing that this happened. Bat doctor banned for life, players suspended. And this happened in Arizona. Yeah, see? Tempe, Arizona was banned for life, discovered a website that offered bat shaving, etc. I mean, that's been going on for a while, man. You know, you can go to these websites and get your bat shaved. I mean, it's a big business. I mean, I heard the bat shaver guy was making big time bucks for shaving bats, and I was like, holy mackerel, seriously, that much cash? You know, but for me, SS senior softball directors that do care, just get your hands on a shaved bat, an altered bat, and from there, you know, see what it's like. Does it have a hole in the end cap? Does it have the end knob with the hole? I mean, just go look for that stuff and then go from there. What should be the penalty for swinging a shaved bat in a senior of any event? I think 5 years and then lifetime ban. I mean, why mess around? You know what I mean? Don't even mess around. I mean, no tolerancy. If you're swinging a shaved bat, I mean, to me, get him out of the game. Go find something else to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, you too, Kyle. I'll talk to you soon. I want to get everything all taken care of with all these tournaments and stuff. Actually talk some tournament stuff here. Yeah. I you know, lifetime ban, I think 5 years. I guess to me, you know, a little leniency, give him 5 years. But like I said, people getting hurt. I mean, to me, if you're a pitcher and you get hit by a ball that just really gives you a bad bruise, I would say I want that bat held and I want the ball held, and check it out, okay? Because, I mean, you as a pitcher, you see the ball come off the bat so many times, and you're going to be able to tell, I mean, something that's different or not. I mean, there's times I pitched in league and stuff, and I was hit by a bat that I knew for a fact that was shaved, and it just came out like just a meteorite. It came out at a completely different thing. So while I have some of you on there, if you're interested, my homeboy, just get in touch. We're making these now for softball teams, and we're going to have some newer things going on. So get in touch with me so I can lead you to the right guy in regards to your, bringing them back. These name tags, which they come in handy, separate your bats. They look cool, especially for travel, when you're separating your bats and stuff. But if you are interested in these at all, message me and I will get you, put your team's logo, and then you get your numbers and your last names again. Put your team logo, put whatever you want right here, and then the other side, number and last name. So many different fonts to choose from. And like I said, get the PDF of your logo, and he can make these for you. So if you're very much interested in having these done, message me and I will get to you. Something I haven't done in a while, do it again. Probably said at these movies. First off, I like Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy. This is a movie done by the Clerks crew with Silent Bob and Jay. This movie's pretty interesting. It's about a guy who gets a mean crush on this girl, but it happens to be that she's lesbian, and so he tries to chase her. Good movie. A lot of dialogue. Basketball Diaries, Leonardo DiCaprio, true story about Jim Carroll's heroin addiction, going to a private school, upscale private school in New York. If you want to see a great movie, it's not bad for during Christmas time, just because the mystique and everything behind it, not bad. Check out the Basketball Diaries. One of my favorite all-time TV shows, Married with Children. I love Married with Children. Okay? I got all the series right there. I don't even know if you could tell. Yeah, you see them down there? Married with Children's right in there. All right. And then the last little bonus movie I'm going to share, Love in a 45, which has some of the characters from Dazed and Confused. This movie's wild. This movie's wacko. Not a bad movie to watch during Christmas time. If you like those offbeat kind of Quentin Tarantino movies, it's a pretty good one for you. So, what do I got going on? Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to, hopefully I'm going to have my good buddy, going to have a surprise guest on my BP session, pitching me BP. I'm going to swing this bat, hopefully crack it. We're going to cut it and show you that my equipment is not shaved, especially when I'm getting 350 to 400 foot performance from the Little Mexican. Little Mexican, 5'8", maybe 5'9" if I have high cleats, 195 pounds. So, sometimes people are shaving their sticks to get that much zest off their bats. Maybe not, but I'm going to show you that my stuff is not shaved. Okay. Once again, if you're interested, I got some Dudleys that I'm looking to get rid of. All right. Thanks for coming on. I hope you all have a happy holidays. Going to be having some cool stuff coming on. Do have some interviews lined up. Got the JBI show coming on pretty quick. So enjoy your evening. Enjoy your break. Make good choices. Just be kind to people, man. I like that stuff, huh? Take care.